Happy Halloween, everybody. It is a wonderful, frightening, scary time of the year. And I thought the best way to celebrate it was to look at some scary action figures. And these are just some scary ones that came to mind. Some I looked around my collection and thought, these are pretty frightening. And so I just thought, let's take a look at them. So, first up, we got a Man from Star Wars, Power of the Jedi collection. If he's not frightening enough, he's carrying around his skulls and he's carrying around his carcass here, which he's quite proud of. So he's a character you probably don't want to encounter in Jabba's palace or anywhere else in the galaxy. Next up, the Batman Who Laughs. This is a Superpowers figure from McFarlane. And, I mean, this design is just always creepy. And it's even, I think it transferred to this scale just fine. Very, very creepy figure all around. How does he see? How does he see? And is he coming for me? I don't know. Next up is Tongue Lasher, a vintage Masters of the Universe character. The Snake Man and the Horde, great attraction for me as a kid and still to this day. I love the horror aspects of Masters of the Universe. And this is actually probably a top 5 vintage figure for me. I just think he's great. Love the action feature and love the design. Tongue Lasher. Along that same line, we've got Ratlore. There's the rattlesnake shake right there. And that's coming for you. Not a fan of snakes, so the snake men horrify me. And Cobra Khan. I don't have any water in him, but every now and then I'll get some and spray a mist. Cobra Khan, he was always a favorite as a kid. Love him. He's a favorite of a lot of people's because anytime that they're having like a special buy, he was hard to get in classics. He was hard to get in origins. He's just not an easy figure to find. Up next, this Batman Begins Scarecrow from McFarlane. Now, I'm on record as saying I'm not that much of a fan of the body, but that face. You can, I don't know if you can see the eyes that well, but my gosh, he's frightening. And he's not the only Scarecrow in the bunch here. Here's another. I think a much better figure. The Scarecrow in the Arkham games is so terrifying, and just talk about a way to elevate a character. They totally did it with not only Batman Begins, but with the Arkham games. Scarecrow really went from being, in my opinion, a second tier character to being a top tier villain because of those two things, that Batman Begins movie and especially the Arkham games. And speaking of Scarecrow, here's another one. I've got 3 Scarecrows here. I mean, we're talking about Halloween, we're talking about fear. Legends of the Dark Knight? This one's from either that or Legends of Batman. I can't think of the toy line. I have 2 more figures of this still. I have the Bane and the Penguin. But these are just such horrifying, weird versions. He twists all around. And look at him. He's all dangly. You're not escaping the Scarecrow. Next up, this McFarlane Infected Joker. I cannot get over this face sculpt. I wasn't able to get the first release of this Joker, and I'm not sad about it because I like this one so much. He just looks so good. he shows up on Halloween behind you and your friends, it's going to be scary times. Happy Halloween, Bruce Wayne. Next up, Leech. He's a member of the Horde, Hordax crew. My toy case for Masters made it very hard to get Hordak, or he would be out here too. But Hordak, I used to stick him to the refrigerator, as many of you probably did when you were kids. He doesn't have much suction anymore, but the fact that he can latch onto you and just suck your life force away, it's pretty scary. Just love the idea of the Horde. Speaking of, Grizzlor. I mean, you're talking about horror elements. Grizzlor's it, right? He's a beast. He's a horrific nightmare on Halloween. Next up, Killer Croc. He's a big boy. He's based on the Arkham games. Just an amazing sculpt. Trick or treat, Batman. Next up, I chose this Skeletor. And I think just because he has the one more element of having the bat symbol on there, that just gives it the extra horror element. But, I mean, you got to pick Skeletor, right? The skull face. Oh. He just looks great. He's a menace. He's an ultimate villain, right? We all love Skeletor. Yar! Next up, Webstore. Always loved Webstore. Had Webstore pajamas. I think this Classics figure is just perfect. Look at that on the back. Such a great upgrade to a figure. Unbeatable. Unbeatable. This one scares the Jesus out of my daughter. She can't stand to look at this figure, this Man-Bat. Unfortunately, Man-Bat won't stand up very well. I'm going to stretch him out here. And one more. For your Halloween viewing pleasure, Modulok. You knew the Horde wasn't over. Love Modulok. He's awesome, and this is the greatest Modulok figure there'll ever be. The one from Masters of the Universe Classics. He's awesome. This thing, think about it. You're just out trick-or-treating. You're having a fantastic night. You hear a weird sound. Sounds like 4 legs. Little weird behind you in the street. This dude's behind you. I mean, you're probably going to run. Are you going to outrun him? No. Is it the most nightmarish thing that ever happened? Probably, next to a lot of these things that could happen. It's just scary. It's so scary to think about Modulok after you. Or any of these amazing villains after you on this wonderful, wonderful holiday, Halloween night. I hope that you get all of the candy that you desire. I hope all of your Halloween wishes transpire. And I hope you have a happy, happy Halloween.